Hi, I'm Hazel, and today I'm going to be talking about the 7 quality of life changes coming in patch 7.3 that I am most excited for. Patch 7.3 does not have a release date yet, but it's on the horizon and estimates put it about 3 weeks away, so right about the end of August. So let's get into which changes are going to make your digital life easier once 7.3 drops. Number 7. The Fishing Around the Isles World Quest achievement is going to require only 20 of the fishing world quests done instead of all of them. If you are the sort of person that collects fishing achievements and you've been procrastinating on fishing around the Isles because you haven't wanted to do all of the fishing world quests, then 7.3 is going to be your lucky day. Now, I'll grant you that this isn't the most wide-reaching quality of life change, but somebody out there is excited for it. And I could only think of 6 really good ones, and top 6 of anything just doesn't really sound like enough. Anyways, moving right along at number 6, in patch 7.3 we're going to be getting Order Hall champion item level catch-up tokens. On your main, you've probably had all of your Order Hall champions maxed out for ages now, and you've been getting those little blue and green little armor sets, and you just vendor them. But if you have ever tried to get an alt up to speed, you will know how grueling it is to try and search out item level upgrades to get somebody from 750 or 780 or whatever pits of Helheim that they start at and get them upgraded all the way to 900. It takes a long time, and in the meantime, you're seeing these elite strike missions pop up and you're like, oh man, I could so use 125 mil artifact power, and then you look at your dudes and they're like, we're not doing it. So come 7.3, that problem will be a thing of the past. You will be able to collect item level catch-up tokens that will catch those guys up so that they can actually do something with themselves. Of course, getting them the right items to hold is going to be about as annoying as it was before, but the free piece of legendary follower equipment that you can get from the command center whenever it has the right buff up goes a long way. Make sure that whenever that pops up, just make a note of it, and then take any alt that's at 110 that you could possibly want to ever play out there to pick up a free piece of legendary equipment. And if you're like me and you almost never actually play the alts, you can pretty much just gear them up like that. Number 5. Speaking of catch-up gear, not only are we getting catch-up gear for our followers, we can get catch-up gear for us too. Similar to the Nether Shard mechanic and the Relinquish vendor that was available in 7.2, you're going to be able to purchase item level 910 catch-up gear for Argunite in 7.3 on Argus. So this is basically an updated version of Nether Shards, and it's going to be incredibly valuable for taking that brand new alt that you leveled through Invasion, so he has no gear, to a point in his life where he can go pick a flower in High Mountain without getting eaten by a deer. The other thing that's really nice about the Argunite vendor is that it lets you target relics. So instead of buying a relic and having it turn into a color that you don't need, you can target specifically a holy relic or an iron or a fel relic and get at least one of that type. Now, if only we could differentiate between single target and cleave trinkets on the vendor, that would really be something. Number 4. Speaking of relics, in patch 7.3, all 3 of your relic slots will be available immediately after hitting 110. If you're into alts, this is the best thing ever. Not only was it annoying to have to go do a whole bunch of class campaign with only 2 relics and have a third really good one sitting in your bag just staring at you, it felt really arbitrary and didn't really make any sense anymore. So in 7.3 they're lifting that restriction and you can socket 3 relics right away as soon as you hit 110. Number 3. The new artifact traits on your weapon added in 7.2 that take it past 34 are going to be available immediately once you hit 110. Previously, you had to hop on Khadgar's purple bird and then flap your way over to the broken shore and then go do a scenario. In 7.3 you're going to be able to just learn them. And with how good artifact power catch-up mechanics have gotten lately, that's a huge step forward in getting your new alt up to speed. Number 2. Speaking of artifact power catch-up mechanics, they are making artifact knowledge catch-up even better. On the blessed day that patch 7.3 drops, everybody is going to be at artifact knowledge 41. Furthermore, you don't have to go mucking around in your order hall forking over order resources and waiting for the books. Instead, there's going to be a global increase of 1 artifact knowledge level every week, just on the weekly reset. You don't have to go do anything, you don't have to wait for it, you don't have to talk to some guy, you don't have to worry about when you're going to open your cache, you don't have to worry about when you're going to open your emissary boxes, you don't have to go, oh no, I can't do a dungeon yet, my research hasn't come in. None of that. The increase in artifact knowledge is going to be automatic. Finally, number 1, the quality of life change that I am most excited for in 7.3, we're getting a permanent augment rune! You remember this thing from Tanan Jungle? If you played through the final patch of Warlords of Draenor, you might remember that off of the Reputation vendor in Tanan Jungle, for Apexis crystals you could buy this permanently reusable augment rune that gives you your augment rune buff without having to fork over 400 gold for each one. That was really great because many mid-level raiders, including myself, are both kind of stingy and very lazy and don't actually want to farm augment runes or buy them, so we just don't use them. But when you have a permanently reusable one, you bring it to every raid, all of a sudden you're doing some more damage, your raid leader likes you more, and you feel like you have more worth as a human being. So essentially, it's the same thing. You're gonna grind some rep, you're gonna grind some currency, you're gonna go buy your brand new Legion Edition permanent augment rune off the vendor, stick it on your bar somewhere, and live happily ever after. Yay! So those are my top 7 quality of life changes that I'm looking forward to in 7.3. One by one, I think they have finally pulled enough straws off of the camel's back for me to you know, get back on the camel and level some alts. Alt catch-up is going to be so easy in 7.3 that there's finally, I think, no really good reason not to, and there's plenty of good reasons to have alts even if you're not playing them as much as your main. For example, for me, whenever there's like a really juicy pet battle world quest that offers 20 pet charms, if I can take 8 alts out there and do it, you know, 8 times in one day, which, you know, we have lots of training for in Draenor, it's a lot of pet charms. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think. Please consider leaving a like if you liked it, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye!